All right, you guys, we're in the Unstoppable HQ. We're here in Santa Barbara, California. We just moved into our new spot this week. We're literally 1 block away from downtown Santa Barbara. This area is pristine and beautiful. Right here is the Riviera. I can see all these world-class mansions from our office. We got palm trees and sunshine. We're living good out here. So we just moved into this new spot. We got a podcast studio. We got offices. We're building out the Unstoppable team. We're taking over the world. That's the mission. That's the vision. And today I got a special guest with me, Jerad Starks. Now, Jerad Starks, we've known each other for about 4 years. He started off as a
Yep.
client for the Unstoppable coaching program. He wanted to develop his mindset, lose weight, get shredded, get sober. He's done all that. Now he's on his journey to become an entrepreneur, to create financial success and really a legacy. Like he's on a mission. I've seen this guy transform his mindset, his habits, his belief in himself in real time, like in person over the last 3, 4 years. So for those of you that want to change your life, you have to recognize it's not going to happen overnight. Jerad didn't get sober overnight. He didn't lose the weight overnight. He didn't go on this journey to become an entrepreneur overnight. This is 3, 4 years in the making of overcoming these daily challenges and pushing through the fear, through the adversity, through all the stuff that holds people back. So today I want to kind of talk about that journey with Jerad. You know, when we first started working together, it was just the basic stuff you want to change, his mindset, his habits. But then once he accomplished those goals, then he went out and ran a marathon. You know, he's 3 years sober. Then he started looking at his financial situation and recognizing, man, I want to be an entrepreneur. I want to get in sales. Now he's going out doing these blitzes. What that is in solar, you go out and do a blitz. You go out into a community and you door knock. And your objective is to sell solar to these strangers. You're knocking on a stranger's door with the objective to sell them solar. Like, how challenging and daunting is that, right? But he has the belief in himself. So he's doing it every month. Now he's back down in Santa Barbara, and we're talking about making him a team member of the Unstoppable coaching program, where he can do sales for Unstoppable. He can reach people who need help. He can bring them into the coaching program and change lives with us. This is what happens when you go on the journey to become your best self. Things start happening, doors open up, opportunities, things that you never thought would have transpired in your life start to materialize because you've been on this journey to better yourself. And the world, the universe starts to recognize that person. You draw in these life experiences. So, Jerad, for people watching this right now, give them a quick, 1 to 2 minute backstory of where you started before getting to this point in your life.
So when I came to Sean almost 4 years ago, I was 50 pounds heavier. I've been drinking for 15 years. The last five, it was really bad. I was binge drinking vodka. And I knew that I was unhappy and that something needed to change, but I didn't know what or how to do that. So enrolling in the Unstoppable 365 MFR program gave me the tools that I needed to completely turn my life around 180 degrees. I mean, I was just so unhappy, unfulfilled. I was miserable all the time, a ton of negative self talk all the time. I completely lacked self love. I lacked confidence, and I was completely miserable inside and out.
Yeah, I mean, when you think of being like at rock bottom, like you guys know my story. My rock bottom was in a prison cell. Everyone's is different. A lot of people are walking around just completely wrecked internally and emotionally. They're not living the life they want. They're not in the body they want. They don't have the relationships or the career they want. They're like existing in this living hell. And I see so many people going through that. I could see it in their eyes. I could hear it in their voice when they speak. There's a lack of excitement, a lack of love, a lack of gratitude. And you guys, if that's you right now, you can change that. Like, I don't care where you're at or what you're going through, you can change your circumstances. It's not going to happen overnight. It takes time, but you have to know that it's possible. Like, that's the first step. And that's why it's so important for guys like Jerad and other men that we mentor to be in our community, because you have to see what other people are doing. You have to start to form this belief that it is possible. And when you see other people taking action, getting results, and you see it over and over and over, eventually you're going to start to believe, man, if he can do it, I can do it too. And that's such a transformational shift in your thinking. So I saw Jerad transform before my eyes. You know, I'd get on calls with him and he was so distraught, so depressed, so down
Yeah.
on himself. And once he started attacking his physical goals, running the marathon, losing the weight, then committing to being sober, I saw that belief in himself start to swell. I saw a shift in his demeanor, the way he speaks, the way he walks, the way he moves started to change. And that was indicative of the confidence that he was developing. So, Jerad, now you're doing door knocking in solar. And
Mm-hmm.
that's, dude, if you guys have done that or you know anyone who's done it, it's a fucking grind. You're knocking on strangers' doors. They're telling you, hey, get the hell out of here. Like, hey, we don't want any solicitors, like over and over and over. If you can go and do that, and number one, get results, but number two, just withstand the rejection, like you can do anything in your life, right? Because a lot of people just get discouraged when they hear no or when something doesn't go their way. That's life. It's not going to always go your way, especially in entrepreneurship, especially if you're trying to generate revenue, build wealth, like achieve massive goals. You're going to get punched in the face a lot. That's when you find out who you are and what you're made of. That's what prison did for me. That's what Jerad being out in Northern California door knocking is doing for him. So I want you to describe, like, what have you learned through this process of pushing yourself beyond your comfort zone, door knocking, selling solar? What are some of the key takeaways you've had to this point?
So, first of all, when I started doing door knocking, and I understood what sales entails and what it takes, I saw it as my next evolution of personal development. Before I got into door to door sales, I had already developed a lot of confidence and belief in myself. But the difficulties of it have caused me to develop whole new levels of just grit, determination, willpower, and belief in myself ultimately that I never had before. And I knew they were possible, but getting rejection after rejection and staying on course and staying belief in yourself, it's developed all new levels of grit and willpower. It's developed all new confidence. I can even tell that I am giving off a different vibe and moving differently since I've gone into this financial endeavor.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, being thick skinned, having mental toughness, being resilient, being determined, like not fucking quitting and giving up, that's how you end up achieving success. So many people just lack that intestinal fortitude. Like when things go wrong, they get so discouraged inside their own head that they then quit or give up. Like the guy that just keeps showing up and no matter what happens, you are relentless and determined to achieve your goal. That's how you get to your results. So you have to recognize that. In order to
100%.
do that, you have to put yourself in uncomfortable situations. You
100%.
have to put yourself in environments where your growth is forced. If you're in an environment right now that's comfortable and predictable and easy, how much are you going to grow? Like, how much are you going to evolve? How much do you have to adapt on a day to day basis? But when you're consistently getting out of your comfort zone and doing things that make you nervous and apprehensive, and you start to question, can I do this? Am I good enough? And you do it anyway, 9 times out of 10, you're going to realize you're much more capable than you realize. And not just that, but you're going to recognize that the fears you had, the doubts that you had, they're magnified in your fucking head. But when you get out in the real world and you just take action, you realize that, man, I could do this. I am doing it. And it's just that little moment in time where you recognize, like, I'm taking action, I'm doing something with my life. That could be such a powerful catalyst for growth. So, Jerad, let's talk about the future and what you want to see achieve in your life. We're going to manifest it right now because a lot of times people don't have vision and clarity about where they're going. If you have vision and clarity about where you're going and what you want, and you refuse to quit and give up, you will get there. So I want to ask Jerad right now. I'm going to put him on the spot. Like, what's that 5 year vision look like for you? Where are you going to be at in 5 years? What do you want to see materialize in your life?
In 5 years from now, I want to be grossing 2 million a year, have a house on the Mesa, mastered sales, applied the skills that I'm learning now into many areas of life, keep myself at 8% body fat, running marathons, being in an amazing relationship with just a beautiful woman, and helping other people just by living life as an example, really making a difference in the world. It's one of my goals.
So I love that. So we had detail right there, right? The vision was vivid enough where I could see it. Like when he expressed that to me, I started to see that version of Jerad, that 3.0 version of himself, that 10.0 motherfucker he's creating, right? So in order to get to that life, like how quickly can you start to embody that man now? That's what I always look at. 8% body fat for Jared's very attainable. Running a marathon, he could go do that right now after this interview if he wants to. Right? Speed of action and massive action is what produces results. Okay, sales skills. He's developing those right now. He's learning how to sell. He's getting
Yep.
results. Now he can look for different occupations, different opportunities, whether it's selling my program and working with me, selling solar, selling for another company. Once you develop these skill sets, that's when you become super valuable. The skill sets that you guys have are going to allow you to reach a certain level. If you don't have the right skills, you're not going to be compensated. Like you're going to be working a minimum wage job or some 9 to 5 that you hate because you haven't put in the time to develop skills. So you have to ask yourself, what skill sets do I need to develop to be able to maximize my financial potential? And then not just that, but who do I have to become to master those skill sets? That's very important because you can know about sales, you can know about handling objections. But if you're not a motherfucker who's confident, if you're not somebody who believes in what you're selling, if you haven't developed yourself in such a way, you're not going to be able to capitalize on those skill sets. So that's very important to recognize. So, Jerad, right now, you can get down to 8% body fat. Right now, you can start to run marathons. Right now, you're going to continue to develop your skill sets. Those are all things within your control. And you guys, you have to recognize having a vision is crucial. That's key. But if you're not doing everything that you can do every day to embody that person and move towards that vision, it's just a fucking pipe dream. There's a big difference between a vision that you're going to attain and then a pipe dream that you're never going to materialize in your life. The difference is your daily actions. Are you maximizing your day? Are you doing everything in your power every day to become the person that can create that life? So I asked Jerad this right now because I love that vision, but like, are you doing everything you can to get down to 8% body fat? Are you doing everything you can to crush these marathons? Like, when you do those things, you develop the belief and the drive and the confidence that's going to bring that vision to life. So what could you be doing right now, or what are you going to commit to become that man you just described?
Well, recently I gained just several pounds back, and today is day one of an extended fast.
Tell him how long you're fasting for. This is how bad he wants it. Listen to this.
I'm aiming for 3 weeks. I am
He's
going
going
to.
to achieve a
I'm,
3 week fast.
I'm going
You
to achieve a
fuckers
three
can't even go to
weeks
the gym
fast.
for 3 weeks every day. He's not going to even eat food. Like, people complain about being hungry and like the food that they eat and this and that. Like, you have to go to extreme lengths if you want to achieve the ultimate life. So I
Yes.
love that. What about marathons? I know there's a marathon coming up. I believe it's in March. Mountains to Sea, one of the first marathons I did when I came back from prison, from Ojai, California to Ventura. Why haven't you signed up?
Well, my new career, I've allowed it to create excuses of I'm gone for 10, 11 days a month, and I'm extremely busy when I'm on these sales trips. But at the end of the day, that's a limiting belief. Like I could wake up earlier and go for a run in the mornings when I'm on my sales trips, for example.
Yeah, and so your excuses just hold you back from achieving your goals. Either you're going to
Totally.
achieve the goal or you're not. We're all busy. We all have shit going on. The guy that can figure out a way to put it all together and still move forward every day, still get the daily work done required to achieve that goal, that's the person that's successful. So this is why I put you on the spot here, right? Because
Glad you do.
look at, no matter how far you get on your personal development journey, right? Okay, now you're sober, now you lost the weight, now you're focused on making money. You can never lose sight of those daily habits that allowed you to change your life. A lot of people do this. They lose weight,
Yeah.
they eat clean for a while, they make these changes, and they think that it's over. They don't ever have to focus on that stuff again. It's just easy. It's not easy. Every day requires hard work, attention, and being intentional. It requires your mental focus and knowing what you have to do every day to be your best self. So like, once you have that foundation built, you can never deter from those daily habits. Jared did, and he gained a little weight back, right? He sees a little belly fat on his gut. He's like, fuck
Tiny
that,
amount.
right? It's a tiny amount, but
But
still,
still,
it's
fuck
indicative
that.
of him backsliding, right?
Fuck that.
Same with him not running. Like, if he continues to do the right thing, tracking calories, staying low in body fat, running, that's the guy that's going to go out and achieve his dreams, because that's the guy that's still working on himself every day. That's the guy that's still growing every day. That's the guy that's still learning. That's the guy who's continuously evolving. And we all have to evolve into the person that can create that life. That's how it happens. So, Jerad, this is good. This is a good interview. We're getting an idea of who you are, where you come from, and where you're going. I love this.
Mm-hmm.
So, what are you going to commit to other than the fast? Like, what runs are you going to do? What marathon are you going to sign up for? I'm going to hold them accountable right here on this interview.
Well, I'm gonna be running at least doing cardio 5, 6 days a week, 6 days a week, right? Getting back into running, you do have to do it at somewhat intelligently. So I can go for runs and alternate between tempo days where you run long term for a long distance, right? And then if I feel like my connective tissue needs to rest, I can still go to the gym and hit the elliptical. There's no excuse to not be able to do cardio every day if that's your goal.
Yeah, and I was hoping he was going to say he was going to sign up for the marathon in March, right? I'm going to make him do that off this interview. Watch. You're going to see something on social media. Jared's running a marathon. No other way about it. And let everyone know, what's your handle on Instagram. How can they follow you?
JRAD Ironman.
So go follow him. Let's make sure that we hold him accountable. Send him a DM. Tell him, hey, you better sign up for that marathon. Last thing I want to ask you before we wrap this up: what would you tell somebody else who's just starting on their journey of personal development? They want to be successful in life. Like, you're somebody who's in the midst of that journey and transformation. So what
Yeah.
would you tell somebody who might be stuck or just is a little deterred, a little doubtful about if they can pull it off, if they can achieve it? What are some wise words, some encouragement you'd share with somebody else?
You can't fail if you don't give up. We're human, you're going to stumble in the process. What makes me think about this is when I got sober with Sean in his program, right? It took me 10 months to get sober when I first started the intention, and I failed many times. There was times that we would have group calls at noon and I would not be on the group calls because I was already drunk off of vodka. But I never gave up. I got my ass kicked time and time again, and I never gave up. Then it took me a little while to lose the weight. Never gave up on that. You can't fail if you don't give up. Perseverance and grit is just something that you can cultivate. It's like a muscle through practice, through failing and picking yourself back up again and keep going, doing it again. You might have doubts in the process, but that's normal. That means you're on the path. Just realize you can't fail if you don't give up.
And that's perfectly said because he epitomizes that.
Yeah.
Like I would get on calls and yell at Jerad, like, "What the fuck you doing? Do you want to change? Like, come on, man, you're just keeping yourself stuck." And he stuck in there. I thought he was going to end up dropping out of the program, quitting,
Yeah.
giving up, and disappearing because a lot of guys do because they feel bad about a backslide. They feel bad about not getting the results, so they quit and give up, and then they take themselves out of the game forever. Jerad stuck in there long enough to finally shift his mindset and understand what we were teaching him and then get results little bit by little bit by little bit. Now he knows what he's capable of, and his whole future life is different because he's proven to himself that he can do it. Right? A lot of you guys, you need to stay in the fight long enough to recognize that you can fucking do it, that you're capable. It's not going to be easy at first. There's going to be moments where you doubt yourself, like Jerad. There's going to be tons of
Yes.
obstacles. He went through tons of adversity in relationships, with his own mindset, in his habits, with his drinking, but he kept fighting. He didn't quit and give up. And now he's here creating a whole new life for himself. So, Jerad, thank you for joining me. This is the Unstoppable Mindset Podcast, you guys. We're going to be going live on all major platforms. Right now, this is on YouTube, but stay tuned because we're going to be bringing you amazing stories, testimonials, guests that are going to just completely inspire you to take your life to the next level. Thanks for tuning in. Give Jerad a follow and a shout out on social media and go crush your fucking day. Let's go.